You're watching the Weather Channel, your hurricane authority.
Hey, good morning, everyone from South Padre Island. Well, here comes Dolly, and I think she's going to be the first Category 2 to landfall here in the U.S. since Wilma back in 2005. Pressure down to 972 millibars. That's almost about 20 millibars down from yesterday at this time, so we got a much stronger animal. We're going to lose power, we're going to have flooding, and we're going to detail it for you coming up on Your Weather Today.
What a morning. Welcome to Your Weather Today. I'm Heather Tesh.
And I'm Marshall C. So we have a lot of wild weather to keep you ahead of on this Wednesday morning.
Now, right now, the Northeast is getting pounded by heavy rain and thunderstorms. Later today, you'll need to be on guard for severe weather from New York City to Washington, D.C.
Plus, Hurricane Dolly is bearing down on the South Texas coast and landfall just hours away. It is strengthened as it has approached the coast. It's only about 57 miles now to the southeast of Brownsville, Texas, and it is continuing its northwestward progress very slowly, too, at 8 miles an hour. The coast being lashed from Matamoros and Brownsville northward toward Corpus Christi and South Padre Island. We want to get right to Dolly and Jim Cantore, who is on South Padre Island right now.
Little courtyard here. The problem is it's not just the rain coming down. It's the sand that's mixing with the rain. And that's what's making this so hard and so difficult to stand out through. I can stand up because winds aren't that strong yet, but it's the sand and the rain that certainly is packing a pounding here. Now, I don't know what the latest advisory is from the Hurricane Center, but I do know before I got out here, I did look at the Hurricane Hunter report. It did come in with 972 millibars, so that's a pretty dramatic drop. It's been dropping all night. It's been getting better organized, and there's no question that adds insult to injury when you think of the impacts. A, it's slowed down. This is the biggest thing. So we have a much, much higher flood potential here. B, the pressure's dropped, therefore the wind's going up. We have a much better chance of losing power. We expect to lose it anyway. But now we have, instead of just having a power loss with a transformer blown, we may actually start to take down some power lines and some power poles here. So it's a twofold issue. The fact that this thing's gotten stronger and the fact that we're not in a huge surge zone means we will have a little bit more water rise. And it'll be interesting to see at high tide where I'm standing, and that does come up at 7:15 local time, by the way, how much water actually does come in here. And what's going to be misleading is the fact that the best surge will come in at landfall, which could be as late as noontime today, given this slow 8-mile-per-hour jog off to the northeast. Let me show you some pictures around what we've got up and dealt with this morning. Oh, this is just brutal. And you can see some of the tremendous rain and wind that's come on down early this morning, and some of this, of course, has caused some ponding on the roads. This area floods pretty easily. You know, when you start bringing in the ocean water and you block up the drains that allow the water from the barrier island to move out, it doesn't move out as quickly, especially when it's coming down at 1 to 2 inches an hour. So that's probably the case this morning. Heather, Marshall, I'm going to throw it back to you. You can show everybody the radar and show the intense bands that are about to come in here and give us the latest advisory. Back to you.
Yeah, Jim, it's got to be tough down there. This on the heels of some rain that has already plagued South Texas. All we need is 3 inches of rain in Brownsville, just to give you an idea, and we'll shatter all of the July records in terms of how much.
I'm Adam Burke here with Ebony Dion. And Ebony, we have quite a busy morning here. We've got a hurricane behind us now, and strong Category 2 continues pushing west.
Yeah, that's right. And there's still the potential for tornadoes. The tornado watch does remain up until 10 a.m. local time. Tornado warning that was just issued has since expired, but there is still that possibility at least within the next 30 minutes. So you want to be on guard for that. In addition to the tornado threat, there's a lot of heavy rainfall, and that's going to be an issue with flooding as we get through the rest of the evening.
And we have live crews in a couple different places, Brownsville and South Padre Island. For now, we're going to go to South Padre Island. That's where Jim Cantore is. Jim, what's the latest right now? Winds picking back up?
Yeah, they are, Adam. They just kind of come in bursts, you know. I mean, occasionally gusting 60, 70 miles an hour. The biggest one I've seen so far is Port Isabel, which is on the other side of the Causeway Bridge at about 72 miles an hour. We've got winds sustained, if you will, right now at 41 with some gusts up towards 60. So not as strong, but that makes sense, right? The storm stalled off the coast, and we're not getting the intense band. Plus, if you look at the radar, too, you can see voids, if you will, in that eye wall, or the center of circulation, where the brighter bands, if you will, are on the south side of the storm, and we're almost a little void here on the north-northwest side. Now, as this thing wraps around, that will not be the case. So we may very well be dealing with the worst of this over the next hour or so. But right now, Dolly's just kind of got a mind of her own. She says, look, I don't feel like coming ashore right now. I'm feeling the friction of the coastline. Since I'm moving so slow anyway, I might as well take my sweet time moving in, and that's exactly what's happening. Unfortunately, that's a real bad thing. A, because it gives people a false sense of security, and they think they can come out and roam on the beach, all right? And B, we're talking about what could be huge rainfall rates in the tune of about 10 to 20 inches. One of the things Dr. Lyons talked about just a little while ago with his report was the fact that offshore, some of the radar estimates are in the tune of 12 to 14 inches. That moves onshore, and we're in big trouble in the Rio Grande Valley. And that's exactly why emergency managers and National Guard are on standby and did a great job of trying to get as many people as they could out of harm's way. Levees not as high as they were back in '67 with Beulah, and we had catastrophic flooding back then. So that will continue to be a huge concern. All right, guys, here's the deal. We reported earlier of an apartment roof collapse. That is a false report. It came to us, and it cannot be verified, so we are taking that one back. Also, on a positive note, we have not heard of any power outages, and we just talked to the public information officer here about 10 minutes ago, and that's a big shock, because last time when we dealt with Emily back in 2005, we had power outages all over the place with very similar conditions. Even though it was a stronger storm, it went in a lot further south. So Dolly waiting offshore with the worst effects, the wind and the waves. We're going to try and get some of these guys out of here and hopefully get them off the beach before Dolly does move in. All right, Ebony and Adam, let's go back to you.
All right, I'm going to take it from here in Brownsville, Texas, and update you on what's happening in this area in Cameron County. Latest wind gust that we've had here in Brownsville at 60 miles an hour. So absolutely the winds are coming up. They'll continue to go up as Dolly makes landfall. So it's something to watch for. And slow at this point is a bad thing. The slower movement is going to mean a couple of things. We're in the wind for longer, we're in the rain for longer, and especially the rain is what we don't want to see here because of the high potential for flooding here. And even in the last hour, we actually doubled the amount of rain that we saw in the previous hour. So we're getting heavier rain bands and a slower movement with Dolly. Those two things do not bear well for the city of Brownsville. And I want to show you some amazing video from the west side of town, because now we're seeing some potential results of what's happening with Dolly. A house fire that broke out, and firefighters responding to that fire as this thing was just going up in flames. Not necessarily positive this was caused by downed power lines, but I just spoke with the Emergency Operations Center just moments ago, and they said that we are getting trees uprooted. We are seeing now sporadic areas around town where power lines have been down, and power lines can spark fires. If a power line goes down in your neighborhood, make sure that you're either calling the EOC or the electric company so they can respond to that and get the power shut off. Do not touch that under any circumstances, because you will be electrocuted. Just let it sit there and let the professionals get out there and take care of it. Certainly the effects are going to be felt here for the next couple of hours. The worst of it is still to come with the outer eye wall, then the eye, then probably the backside of the eye wall. So we're watching for hurricane gusts here. We're watching for 6 to 12 inches of rain and the possibility of isolated tornadoes as well, Adam and Ebony. But at this point, in downtown Brownsville, we're doing pretty well. Latest gusts at 60 miles an hour. Back to you in the studio.